In the evening, a bus stops, and a tired worker sits quietly, hoping to finish the ride home. When the driver demands her seat, she speaks one word, and an entire city begins to move. Quiet strength matters because courage is not about volume. It is about choosing action when fear is loud. A narrow definition of confidence often pushes people to perform, and that performance can mask true ability. The mechanism is overstimulation, where some minds absorb more input and reach their limits sooner. When limits are crossed, thinking becomes blurred, small talk feels exhausting, and deep focus becomes hard to maintain. Schools and workplaces often reward the loudest voices, then confuse speed and sociability with competence. At home, one person may need silence after a busy day, while another craves constant connection through talk. Next, you will learn how temperament shapes energy, why group norms can stifle creativity, and how to communicate across different types. This video is inspired by Quiet by Susan Cain, and subscribe for practical ways to use solitude, speak with impact, and protect quiet talent. The extrovert ideal posits that the best self is gregarious, alpha, and spotlight ready. It rewards fast talkers, bold performers, and constant teamwork, even when these traits do not predict good ideas. A century ago, America shifted from valuing character to personality, where public impressions began to overshadow private virtue. As this shift occurred, anxiety grew, as every interaction felt like a stage and every stranger became a judge. Dale Carnegie started as an insecure farm boy, then learned public speaking and sold confidence as a skill. His career mirrored a new economy that needed salesmen who could sell products and themselves. This perspective matters because leaders can change history without charisma or constant display. When quiet is treated as a defect, many people hide their nature and waste energy acting like someone else. Notice which situations reward performance over substance, then choose roles where listening, depth, and preparation are valued. Create a definition of success that includes integrity and concentration, not just popularity, because culture can be redesigned. Introverts and extroverts differ in their stimulation needs, which shapes their energy, focus, and social endurance. Introverts often feel just right with less input, while extroverts seek extra activity to feel fully engaged. Arousal refers to how awake and alert the brain feels. Too much can scramble thinking, while too little can make the mind crave quiet and low stimulation. In one experiment, extroverts chose about 72 decibels of noise, while introverts selected about 55. Another study found that introverts salivated more when exposed to lemon juice on their tongues, indicating higher sensory reactivity. This matters for work and school design, as open plans and constant meetings can drain the more sensitive. It also explains why quiet people can enjoy parties and still need recovery time without being unfriendly. To build restorative niches, protect blocks of time for reading, writing, or strategizing, and choose a seat with distance. When overstimulation rises, reduce input first, then return to the conversation with a clearer mind and steadier tone. Understanding these differences can help in creating environments that are more inclusive and supportive for all. The new groupthink is the belief that teamwork always produces the best thinking, especially in workplaces and schools, but this can be misleading. It promotes open offices, constant meetings, and public brainstorming, even when privacy and solitude are better for productivity. Large teams can stifle productivity because attention is divided and people fear looking foolish in front of peers. Group sessions also suffer when only one person can speak at once, while others wait and lose their ideas. A classic study found that scientists and advertising executives generated more ideas alone than in groups of 4. The quality of ideas was equal or higher when people worked individually, showing that noise is not always a sign of creativity. The pattern favours introvert strengths, as quiet concentration and slow thinking often produce breakthroughs that groups later adopt. Collaboration still matters, but it works best after individuals think alone, then bring finished ideas to the table. Design meetings with clear goals, a silent start time, and written input to ensure the loudest voice does not set the direction. Subscribe for more breakdowns on solitude, open offices, and creative routines that help teams get better ideas without forced noise. Free trait theory posits that fixed traits and flexible behaviours coexist, allowing individuals to act out of character for a purpose. Core personal projects and meaningful goals such as teaching, parenting, or building a cause that justify extra social effort. An introvert, for instance, can host events, lead meetings, or give speeches when the work serves something deeply valued. The cost is emotional labour, where you manage feelings on the outside while your body absorbs stress underneath. One professor lectures with passion because opening minds is his project, even though his nature prefers quiet. After the performance, he returns to restorative mode, limiting the time he stays out in the spotlight. Staying healthy involves stretching your limits while planning recovery and consistently respecting boundaries. Without recovery, people suppress emotions, which can leak later and darken how the world is interpreted. Write down your 2 most important projects, then decide which social demands serve them and which ones are only for image. Create a restorative niche by blocking quiet time after heavy interaction, then re-enter the world with patience and clarity. Opposite types are often drawn together because one brings conversation and momentum, while the other brings listening and depth. Conflict arises when one person multitasks socially, while the other needs focused, one-on-one conversations to think. Misunderstanding this difference can create hurt feelings, as silence may be seen as rejection and talking as selfishness. The mechanism is overstimulation, since too much input can make the introvert stop processing and want to retreat. One couple loved hosting dinner parties, but one partner disliked the table talk, finding it too demanding. They changed the format to a buffet and small clusters, allowing one to stay central and the other to have one-on-one talks. Tension becomes solvable when temperament is treated as a design problem, not a moral flaw. At work, the same principle applies when sales or consulting rewards careful listening more than non-stop performance. Name the preferred format before conflict starts, then choose settings that support both types, like smaller groups or quiet breaks. When expectations are clear, the extrovert still gets connection, and the introvert keeps energy for the people who matter. A full society requires both bold actors and quiet observers, as different strengths need different channels of energy. When only one style is celebrated, potential leaders remain hidden, and thoughtful children learn that their nature is wrong. You observed how the extrovert ideal shapes institutions and how stimulation differences change what feels possible each day. You also saw why groupthink can block creativity and why solo thought improves collaboration when timed well. With free traits, people can stretch for meaningful projects and recover in restorative niches, avoiding burnout. With clearer communication, couples, teams, and families can stop fighting about personality and start adjusting the environment and expectations. Look for quiet cobblers who might have been great generals and stop treating sensitivity as a defect to fix. In schools, provide private thinking time, teach public speaking as a skill, and stop measuring leadership by volume alone. In workplaces, allow solitude before meetings, reward preparation, and let the best idea win, even if it arrives quietly. To create systems that protect quiet focus and help introverts thrive in loud cultures. Subscribe and keep learning these tools.